What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Craig Waleed, your host here on the Prison to Promise podcast, where I explore strategies formerly incarcerated people use to avoid returning to prison. On this episode, I'm joined by Joshua Kenyon, who spent over half of his life in and out of prison. The last time Joshua was sentenced in court, the judge served him over 100 years in prison. However, Joshua got his sentence reversed because of his persistent legal maneuvers. While in prison, Joshua also began to recognize his potential to do more than just a bid, and he started changing how he thought about himself and others. He recognized that his knack for hustling and entrepreneurship could be spun to produce a positive outcome. So please listen up as Joshua Kenyon kicks the science on how he used higher education and knowledge of himself to free himself from the destructive cycles of incarceration. It's a pleasure to have you here with me, just to share your story on the Prison to Promise podcast, where what I do is just try to collect stories of people who are living successful lives post-incarceration. And so I guess just to jump right into it, man, I want to invite my listeners to welcome Brother Joshua Kenyon here. And Josh, if you would, man, let's just go in and maybe tell the folks a little bit about who you are, where you from, and maybe how much time you spent behind the wall.
Man, my name is Joshua Kenyon. I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I lived all over the country. I moved around a lot and kind of had a hectic younger childhood. So I spent a lot of years in prison, man. I was spending 25 years in prison in total. I did 18 months in Alabama, did 11 years in Missouri, and I did in Colorado. I did 7, and then I had a 198-year sentence. I gave back and turned it into a 20 on an appeal. I won my 35C ineffective assistance of counsel and my Rule 33 motion to vacate conviction and get a new trial. I was scared at the time, just had 198 years and gave it back. So I took a 20. Classified a DOC inmate right now.
Yeah.
I'm at the halfway house. So that's really what got me here.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that, bro. And you shared that you did in total about a whole 25 years out of your life. That's a whole lot of time.
Absolutely. I'm 43 years old.
Yeah. So you spent like almost more than half of your life behind the wall. You know, they say once we get around 35, 40, though, we start making better decisions, you know. So I guess one of my questions to you, which is like not in my script, but one of the things for me is to ask then what's different for you this time around than the previous times that you were in prison?
Okay, so let me explain really a little bit better what happened this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been in and out, and I was in Colorado. Good for myself. I had a few cars, owned a home. I was doing really good, but I was still involving myself with the wrong people and the wrong entities. I kept on having a business entrepreneurship mind and was doing wholesale retail and things like this, but I was still doing things I shouldn't be at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I got pulled over. I had a warrant already for a distribution. It was a small little petty thing that I could have handled. I could have took care of. You know, I could have handled that weight on my shoulders. But so when I got pulled over, I knew I was going to jail right away. I got arrested, got taken away from the scene. The girl in the passenger seat she ended up having a warrant too, and found out she was going to jail. Her sweating and stuff, and it's all in the police report. She was sweating, nervous, and so they got her purse. When they searched her purse, they found pink Victoria's Secret bags with bags of dope in them, and pink heart-shaped containers and mascara things stuffed with dope. So they tell her she's under arrest for possession and distribution. So I'm scared, and she says, there's a whole bunch more dope in my vagina too, but
Hmm.
the dope in my purse is mine. This is her speaking, but the dope in my vagina is his. So I'm already in jail on my warrant for like an hour and 45 minutes, and they come and tell me I got new charges for distribution. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. And they said the girl said the dope in her vagina was mine. So
Possession is 9/10 of the law, right?
that's what I thought. So I took it to trial. I had a paid lawyer, $18,000 for this paid lawyer, and he threw my life away, man. He didn't file a single motion to suppress.
Yeah.
He didn't file a single motion for anything.
Yeah.
Me, the whole time I was in the law library and I was writing the judge asking for these motions. Well, she kept shooting me down, saying, Mr. Kenyon, you have a paid attorney, so he needs to handle this stuff for you. So trial come. I don't know. I still to this day don't know how I lost. I lose trial. Guilty on all counts. They find her not guilty of possessing anything. Find me guilty of staying on me for 2.5 hours in exchange for her charges being dismissed.
Yeah.
So I get found guilty in all counts, go to sentencing. I get 198 years. They aggravated me and put a big habitual offender on it. So what happened was I got a 64, a 64, a 32, a 32, and a 6 each other because they separated the dope from a purse, from the dope in the vagina, from the dope I was already on bond for, and they stacked them all together.
They just loaded you up.
Loaded me up. So my lawyer tells me I'll be back in 30 days. I'm going on vacation. Luckily, being conscious minded and trying to take my whole life into my own hands and understand what's going on with my legal situation, I knew from reading the law books that there's such a thing called a Rule 33, motion to vacate conviction and grant a new trial for procedural error or misconduct in the courtroom. And there was a couple things where perjury happened by the officer and things like this in the trial, and it's in the transcripts. And then I have the discovery. So you only have a 10-day window to file this motion. And my lawyer said he ain't gonna come see me for 30 days. So I took a brown paper towel out of the bathroom holder in the county jail with a marker, and I wrote a motion to the judge and sent it in on a brown paper towel.
Desperate measures call for desperate means, right?
She granted it. She granted it.
Awesome.
And then I filed my Rule 35C in effective assistance to counsel. And because I was staying in contact with the judge the whole time, letting her know I wanted these motions filed. And when she looks at the records, not a single motion was ever filed. And I asked for like a total of 13 motions. She said, yeah, this is grievous ineffective assistance to a grievous level. And so he got reported to the Attorney Regulation Council with the Bar Association and a few things by the judge even. So she granted both my motions and granted me a new trial. But at the time, I'm thinking, I don't know how I lost the first trial.
Right.
And it came to me and said, we'll drop everything and give you 16 to 24 right now if you plead out. And I know I could have probably beat it, but I was so scared. I took the 20.
Right.
So when I
what got happened, let me ask you this: what would have happened if you didn't take that plea? Like, what kind of time would you been facing?
I mean, either I've been free, like I feel like should have happened.
Right.
But if I don't, I'm stuck with that 198 again. And then I got lucky to win the one who says that's going to happen a second time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was hard for that to happen. So the chances on it happening twice, lightning in the same spot twice. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt.
I took it. But what happened was when I got the DOC, man, and I started looking at my surroundings and started realizing, man, I got the rest of my life in here, and this is not my environment. This is not what I'm trying to do with my life, and I got to figure something out. And I said, keep on doing this whole life. I have a chain of distribution cases, but I have a strong entrepreneur spirit, a good business mind. So they had a business entrepreneur class that came up.
Okay. So you start flipping it backwards, start taking your negative and turning it positive, it sounds like.
Absolutely, because here's the thing is that I didn't have it in 198 years. I'm never getting out.
Right.
And then I got that 20 and I said, man, I got a chance.
That's right.
I can't squander my next chance. I can't throw my life away again. I got to figure out something. And as much as I didn't agree with the conviction, I still don't, I never will.
Hmm.
But I got to realize that this has happened over and over. So I might not agree, but there must be something wrong with me to keep getting exiled from society. Like it or not, it means we got kicked out of society when you go into prison for one reason or the other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I had to find that change within myself.
Hmm.
Um, so for a long time, I was mad and bitter at first. Like, man, these girls that did this to me, took the stand on me. Then I realized I had to stop blaming her and forgive her, and as well as forgive myself to get past that and realize that, you know what, that's my choice for
Hmm.
still involving myself
Hmm.
in the same things that got me to where I've been at all my life. Like I've
That's
been here all
powerful.
my life, you know.
That's
At some
powerful.
point in time, you got to be grown and realize, man, to be responsibilities.
Yeah.
And with whatever obstacles come your way, you got to figure out a way to get over them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I started going to college, man. When I first went to that business entrepreneur class,
Uh-huh.
it opened my eyes to a whole new horizon, man. And I
Wow.
took off ever since then. I've been in college ever since. And I'm still in college. I'm
Yo,
working on my fourth degree.
on your fourth degree. So talk about
Yeah, I got.
how did college, like what happened? Because you said it opened my eyes to whole like a whole different dimension. Like what was that? Like you went from night to day, like light from dark to light. Like what happened? Like what did you see different? How did you understand yourself in the world differently once you start taking courses?
So once I got in this college course, I realized that all this stuff I'm learning in college textbooks, getting straight A's on. I never passed ninth grade. I went to ninth grade 5 years, never got a single high school credit. I was
Hmm.
horrible in school. And
Hmm.
once I started doing this business class and learning all these business things and these economic fundamentals, like once I started learning these things, I was like, these are the things I've been doing my whole life. It's the same stuff I've been doing my whole life.
Right.
But I like, I'm sure everybody likes money.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do well for themselves and has, the dream of owning a house and owning this and having a vacation home. If you really like money and you follow in finances and understanding mutual funds and compounding periods, and you start understanding this stuff, you start seeing real money. The real money is not in selling drugs.
Mm.
It's not in doing these negative things that get us in prison. The
Hmm.
real money is in these business ventures.
Right.
And this is real, tangible, taken from you, and your life cannot be taken from you. And it's the same thing I've been doing all my life. So
Hmm.
once I've seen I can maintain my hustle aspect, I can maintain the same things I'm doing and feed these little energies I got in a
Yeah.
positive light, and
Yeah.
at the same time help out other people in my situation. I could become a bit parolees and felons.
Absolutely.
People like myself a chance. And once I seen like, man, I can give myself a chance, first of
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And if I succeed, I can give others like me a chance as well.
Wow, man.
It just changed everything for me. It gave me a different perspective on what trajectory I wanted to take with my life.
Hmm. Hmm. And you said something else just real. I mean, all of what you just shared was really dope. And what really grabbed me though at the end was, you said I had to give myself a chance, give myself a chance. I think for so many times, especially those of us who found ourselves in prison or going in and out of prison, sometimes we don't give ourselves a chance. And maybe sometimes because we don't even realize that we're depriving ourselves of a chance. But once our eyes open up, man, it's like the world is ours, man. So I'm just like, I'm blown away by your story, man. So you've been out only for a short time now, right?
I got released on January 12th, technically, but I had to go to quarantine because of COVID.
Uh-huh.
So I'm in the halfway house. I'm still not out, but I got released to be able to go start job hunting and stuff on January 24th,
Mm-hmm. 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm almost done with this semester right now. I got to, because so I was the part of a pilot program for the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant just got reinstated
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at in Colorado, and the college, Trinidad State College, was one of like 32 colleges in the entire United States that got selected to
Mm-hmm.
partake in this pilot program. So I've been in college for the last 3 years in prison. And so I
Okay.
was already enrolled. The halfway house didn't want to let me go to school. They don't want to let you go to school. They want you to work and pay. But because I was grant was already rolling, they really couldn't do nothing to stop it.
Right.
So I got to stay in college. So I'm in college right now. I'm a Phi Theta Kappa honor student, 4.0 GPA.
Congratulations.
Um, Super proud of that.
Absolutely.
I'm a master canine handler. I got my business entrepreneur certificate. I got my customer service certificate and
Yeah.
my associate of applied science. And I'm 4 credits short right now. My associate of arts, and that's what I'm working on right now.
Dope, man. Congratulations. And you're going to get that because you've got all these other accomplishments behind you. And plus, you don't realize you have the academic aptitude as well. So you're probably going to end up being a doctor of education before it's all over, if that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. When I started getting education in prison, even the people I surround myself seemed to change. Like
Yeah.
my vernacular started changing. I started learning new words and phrases and being able to talk more professional. And that allowed me to get into different circles and have different conversations with people that I had never had before.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is when you radiate this change, other people see it and they hear you talking. They might be standing there having their own conversation, and you over here talking with, on the side with somebody else. They're listening.
Yeah.
And so before long, behind the walls, people started coming to me. Hey, brother, I hear what you're talking about. I really like that. How can I get involved? So I ended up, after people see you start doing it, and they're like, oh yeah, that ain't finna last. That ain't finna last.
Yeah.
But then a year, 2, 3 years later, you're still doing the same thing. People start to take heed to this. So once we change ourselves, we can inspire change in others. Once other people see good things, they start to do the same. And now I have a network of a lot of people I was incarcerated with that are doing the same things. A couple friends of mine are parole while on parole still.
Yeah.
Like people are starting to do good things when they see good things done others. So now it's a network that's everybody helping each other out.
It's like we give other people permission to do their best and be their best. Because sometimes I think when we're doing criminal stuff and we are doing stuff that we're not supposed to do, it's almost like we're prisoners without even being locked up. And I say prisoners because we have like other homeboys that do the same thing with us, and we don't want to fall out with them because we know, like, if I start doing the right things, then I might lose this friendship or whatever. But I think it takes a real bad man, a real bold man or woman to step outside of those circles where we've been doing all the BS and start doing something that's more righteous for ourselves. And then, like you said, other people start noticing that. And then I think they get that permission within themselves by watching and listening to you. And like you said, they start coming to you wanting pointers on, hey man, how can I get down? How can I do this? How can I do that? And listening to you speak, one more thing is I'm big into music. And so as you were talking about doing your thing now, I was thinking about a song by Mos Def called Umi Says. And the chorus in the song says, my Umi says, shine your light on the world, shine your light for the world to see. My Abi said, shine your light on the world, let the whole world see. And I think when we start shining our light, it's impossible for people to turn away from it. It's either they're going to be drawn to it or they're going to be consumed by it. And that's what it sounds like has been happening in your world. Some people have been drawn to it and other people have been turned away. So they've been, in essence, been consumed by it. So big ups to you. My respects to you, brother. If our listeners wanted to, if they wanted to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
Man, you can reach me on Facebook. I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado. So make sure you find that one. I had an old one that I can't get on, but okay. So you'll see me.
All right,
or
say that
JK.
Huh? Yeah, I was saying, say your handle again on Facebook or wherever.
Joshua Kenyon. I also have an email, JK brand new one at gmail.com.
And that's one with the number one, brand new number one, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, dope. That's good. So, yo, man, couple things before we close out. And one is, what are some of your, what are some of your goals now that you're out? I know you're working on finishing your degree, first your associate's degree, and I know you're thinking about maybe going on for some additional degrees. But what is, like, say perhaps your 5-year goal at this point?
So soon the day I get out the halfway house, I'm starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to start a bit. I want to start a few businesses, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to start a business, and I want to hire people like myself
Mm-hmm.
that have been in my shoes or I've been in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
People coming out the joint that really don't think they might not have that much of an opportunity. This is
Yeah.
what I was going to say earlier was so you find your character and your
Mm-hmm.
identity
Mm-hmm.
and get solidified in that,
Mm-hmm.
then you feel comfortable being your own man. So once you're doing that behind the walls,
Mm-hmm.
people recognize that, and that's when you can have you have knowledge in what you're talking about. So you can have that confidence to stand behind what you say, and once you start, and you can lead your own direction.
Yes.
25 years in prison, I've been a uh, organizational member, we'll say,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So I've been through all them circles, and
Yeah.
when you're in that, and you start finding this confidence in yourself, it starts giving you leadership amongst your peers, and they
That's
start
right.
listening.
That's right.
Like, I want to be able to help out them brothers whose shoes I was in
Mm-hmm.
time and give them a chance. One thing I was gonna say, I'm blessed with. I got out. Of course, I took the first job I had,
Mm-hmm.
uh, busted my butt, working the best I could,
Yep.
um, trying to reintegrate the society because I said this time I'm gonna make something for myself.
Nice.
Not just for the people to love me, but for the people I love and for myself as well. That's one thing I did learn is to love myself. That's the most valuable lesson I learned is I have to love myself
Mm.
enough to know that I deserve better and I
Yes.
deserve a chance at life. And the only person that's gonna give me a chance at life is me.
Mm.
I'm in a state, I have zero family members in this state. I'm
Mm-hmm.
in a city I've never been to in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I know nobody's gonna do it for me, so I have to do it. I have to step up and be a man and take these responsibilities. So I took the first job,
Yeah. Which was
worked
the
really
right thing to
good,
do.
absolutely 2 months to a pretty good amount salary a year.
Mm-hmm.
Got moved to management.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so luckily I found somebody that will be flexible with me in my situation and wanted to help me out. And
Yeah.
that gave me a chance to where I didn't uh no, 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 keep hearing no's and then revert back to my old activities.
Yeah.
To do the same thing for other people. I
Yeah.
want to give people a chance so that they can, if you get that chance right when you come out the door, that's
Mm-hmm.
going it helps a lot with keeping
Yeah.
you from going doing them same old things that got you to where you were. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
I agree
So I
with
want
you
to be able to do
100%.
that same thing for other people, man. I, I really support ex-felons, ex-convicts, and small businesses. And so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a couple small businesses myself
That's
where I can
dope.
support the things I care about.
That's dope, Josh. I really appreciate hearing you say that. And you know, the research says that, the first 3 days out of the penitentiary is like the most dangerous. People OD during that time and people end up committing more felonies and going back to prison, if not violating their conditions, So that's dope. And how about, man, if you can talk just a little bit about what kind of supports you had while you were locked up and the supports you had or have now that you're out in the community, and how
So
important those supports are if you do or don't have them.
so as anybody who knows who got a long time, when I got sentenced 198 years, all the people I thought was gonna be there weren't there.
Hmm.
100 people give up on you and it's sad, but a lot of people just they got life to live too. And I'm not even mad at them. They got life, that's what it is. But it also shows me the few people that was good in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it always goes back to family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't talk to my family for the first 3 years, or they didn't talk to me, I should say. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even know where they were at. Um, but while I was in, I took it upon myself. Well, I know I need support. Nobody, everybody got to have somebody.
That's
And
right.
so once I started doing these educational things,
Mm-hmm.
I started building relationships with the people I was around with in the college aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So I became a member of the formerly incarcerated college graduate network.
Mm-hmm.
That's been cool. I've met a lot of really cool people off there and a lot of good people that resources my way.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a Phi Theta Kappa member. Like I said, I got 4.0s in college
Yeah.
the whole time. So I got the Phi Theta Kappa. They got a chapter in every city in the U.S.
Nice.
So I came here and put on the Phi Theta Kappa alumni Facebook page. Like, hey, I'm not from here, don't know nothing about here. This is my story. And I don't. A lot of people hit me up like, man, welcome home. Glad to have you here.
No,
Glad
it's
you in this
dope.
new city. We love this city, and
Mhm.
they've been real resourceful.
Nice.
Um, I, I really, because of what happened to me and how I went to prison, and of course when I got locked up, people went and stole everything out the house and everything. So
Right.
this time, I really guarded who I allow to be involved in my life. It's
Mm.
it's for me. It's not who lets me who hangs out and talks to me is my homies. Not no more. It's not
Mhm.
like that no more.
Mhm.
Now I guard the relationships I allow myself to be engaged in. So I've really built a good insulating circle around me, people that's
Mhm.
doing good things. Like I decided that if I wanted to be something and be where I want to be one day and what my ideology is in my future, then
Yeah,
I got to surround myself with people who already have these things or are living them things that I wish to live. And
absolutely.
so that's what I've done is I'm surrounded by people who are either entrepreneurs and on their
Mhm.
own. A bunch of friends of mine that are reentry specialists.
Yeah.
Uh, I've I've really surrounded myself around what I can call my brothers.
Nice, nice. And so when you're around people that are like-minded and who may be even further down the road than you, that's always inspiration and support versus people who are doing just the same as you or who are not doing anything near what you're doing. It almost becomes like an anchor or albatross is weighing you down. So yeah, that's
Here,
dope.
here's what I'll say is I've been in prison 25 years.
Yeah,
The world is new to me. This
yeah.
technology, all this stuff is new to me. So I couldn't get out acting like I know everything and I already know what to do.
Mm.
I, I've been in prison so long. I don't know the steps it takes to do this stuff. I didn't even know how to set up a Facebook page. I didn't know how to do these Zoom meetings. I didn't know how to do none of this stuff
Yeah,
until I had to get somebody else to show me. So once I humbled myself enough to realize, like, man, I don't know the world today.
yeah.
In order for me to be successful, I need to learn the world today from somebody who already is successful or is on
Mhm.
their way to being successful.
Yeah,
I can't go ask one of these I hate to say it, but it's a lot of knuckleheads in the world. I couldn't go ask one of these knuckleheads for
right,
leadership. Like
right.
why would I do that?
That's bass backwards.
Absolutely. You see the situation there, and I do that. So I was real selective in the people I allowed to take my to, after spending 25 years,
Yeah.
I realized time is the most valuable asset
Yes,
that
sir.
we could ever have.
Yes,
You can
sir.
never get it back. You can never replace it.
Hmm.
So time to me is the meaning of life to me, honestly, is about and sharing new experiences with people who you love and care about and love and care about you as well. And the only way I
Yes.
can do that is to have myself in a position to be able to do that. And the only way I'm gonna have myself in a position to be able to do that is take the guidance from people who already are in positions to do that with their lives.
Man, wise words being spoken by a true G, Joshua Kenyon. You know, you also talked about dog handling, man. And I read some of your stuff online that you had pointed me to. So I was really amazed by that. And I met a couple other people that had done some dog handling and training behind the wall. Do you ever see yourself getting back into that?
Absolutely. I've already taken on a few clients on the side, just doing that on the side, training a dog, more about training the dog owners, honestly. But since
Training the dog owner, not the dog. Yeah.
absolutely, that's the hardest part. But I will say this: I'm glad you said that. Brought up the canine program. So that's what originally gave me the focus of, you know what, I could be the change for other people. Because when I started seeing these dogs that didn't have a home, they didn't have
Uh-huh.
family, they didn't have nobody to love them.
Right.
So once I realized that I could take one of these dogs and train them and teach them how to be successful and they could find good homes and be loving, caring members of somebody's family.
Yeah.
Once I realized I could add value to these dogs, I started realizing, man, I could add value to myself
Yeah.
and then I can add value to other people
Yeah.
this that I'm in their shoes.
Yeah. Dope, man. Dope. Yo, in the interest of time, man, I think that's a good note to end on right there. Um,
Absolutely.
it's been a blessing, man, talking to you. It's been a blessing getting to read about you And I'm going to wish you the biggest success. It sounds like you already have all the tools you need. You've been had them. You just didn't realize you had them. And sometimes I think it takes, difficult times for us, fall down on our face sometimes to start realizing what we're really made of. And it sounds like you're about to make a real impact on the world, help change some people's lives, man. So
As well as you're doing that currently. And
thank
I
you.
really appreciate the opportunity and much respect to you because this platform you created and things you're doing, uh, I'm trying to follow in your shoes, brother.
Hey, man, we all in this thing together, right? We all learning from each other. Each one teach one, each one reach one, right? So
Absolutely.
so let's stay in touch,
Amen.
Joshua. And
Absolutely.
I'll be following up with you to let you know when your episode drops.
Absolutely, brother.
All right. And in the meantime, brother, if you know any women or men who might be willing to share their story of prison to promise, man, please connect me with them because I want to share stories and highlight people's successes.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, man. You be well, man.
You have a great day, brother.
Thank you, Joshua. Peace.
Peace.
If you or someone you know would like to share their story on this show or would like to leave a comment or suggestion, drop me a line using lowercase letters at DrCraigWaleed, D as in dog, at gmail.com. That's Dr. Craig Waleed at gmail.com. Thank you.